Okay. So, welcome to my masterclass. And if you've got any questions, you can either let me know. I think you should be able to set yourself unmuted or muted on your screen. Otherwise, you can always type them in the chat box as well. And then I can answer anything that you're wanting to know. So the first thing I was thinking about was why, I mean, the media is full of the fact that there's this huge epidemic about obesity and so on. And the question is, why that? Oh, cat. Right, so the reason why there's this huge epidemic of obesity and people who are overweight, one thing is there's this massive confusion created by the extremes in the media. Hold on, the dog wants to come up because of course I started talking. She doesn't like to miss out. So you've got all these tiny, tiny models and they're tiny, tiny skinny, and the rejection and the going against that created this, thing within the fashion industry, and then they brought in plus size models. Well, that's fab, but it's these two massive extremes of, the unhealthily underweight, most of them, not all, but unhealthily underweight, and the unhealthily overweight. And so the two extremes are kind of balancing themselves out, especially in America. We've just come back from America. My son was playing hockey for the UK, and it was really shocking sitting in the mall because all I could see was either very, very fit, slim people who obviously look after themselves all the time, or very obese people. And there wasn't like this middle point at all. So what we really need is normal people modeling stuff, as in normal, as in a healthy weight within that healthy. They're not plus size and they're not mega skinny, or all, cover everything. And then the second reason that this epidemic has been around is because this backlash against skinny models. Now, I'm not sure how much you know about the law of attraction, but basically anything that you resist, anything you say you don't want anything to do with, that backlash and the shoulds and the pressure actually attracts things into our lives. So the more there's been a backlash about being skinny, the more everybody's gone the other way. And then, of course, the third thing is our lifestyles. It's just kind of crazy. Everybody's trying to fit in so much into their life, and health in England is not seen as a massive priority. Some people will prioritize it for sure, but not everybody. It's not like a general thing. And then finally, there's really misleading advice that really, really confuses people. And that's one of the things that I can really set right on my course, Be Healthy, Fit and Slim for Life, because there's loads and loads of confusion. There's this whole low cal, low fat, but then it's full of sweeteners. There's fat is bad, sugar is bad, carbs is bad, meat is bad, which isn't. None of these options take into account the fact that everybody's different. You can't have one solution for anything. Now, as somebody who's quite OCD myself, this is seriously distressing. I'd love to have one answer to at least something, one solution to something, but there really isn't one answer to anything, because everybody's different, everybody's bodies are different, the blood types are different, their backgrounds are different, their hormones are different, and it's not possible to have just one answer. Now, yes, I do tend to recommend one specific, very healthy eating based lifestyle regime within my program, but I do cover all of the others as well for information purposes, because I strongly believe that people need to tune in more to their intuition and be able to listen to their bodies more. You'll also find that you get lots of people who are very interested in personal development or spirituality, and they're all about progressing and developing and evolving themselves, but they often forget that you're in a body, and the body has to take priority. It's the body's journey. The body is the container within which we're having this experience, and the body is key. So for anybody who is that way inclined and wants to achieve a big goal, so personal development, or who's very spiritual, the body is absolutely key. It's the container from which you're going to do that purpose, and your purpose can't be as successful unless you get the body sorted. And I can see that through my history, when things flowed much more easily and when things didn't, how much care was I actually taking of myself at the time. So now, what I said I was going to talk about very specifically in this masterclass was, what are the 4 secrets to losing weight successfully, and why do so many weight loss programs not work? Apart from what we've already talked about, you know, they all focus on just one solution and the extremes and so on, and they're all quite misleading. So the key reason is weight loss is a funny old thing, and unlike other goals that you might want to set where you can purely focus on that one goal and just move towards it, like, so for instance, if you were writing a book, it would all be about writing the book. You would just be doing your research or tuning into your story, making the time, writing the book. It's just one goal, yeah? If you wanted to sort the kids out, it would just, sorry, my phone's going to go mad. I'm in one of those groups that's going ding, ding, ding. It would just be one thing, but weight loss isn't like that. Weight loss is a full body experience. It is all about the body, mind, and spirit. It is the whole thing, and you have to get the whole thing on board in order for it to work. So the reason that people struggle, and I'm going to explain the why to you now, because this is what I go through in my course, and if this is all you need in order to get healthier, fitter, and slimmer, then that's great. And you only need my course if you actually need me to show you how to do this and what's involved. Okay, so step 1 is you need to get your mindset sorted. You need to get your head in the game. So you need to be really motivated. It's not enough to just do a diet. A diet isn't, you, once you're past the pain of being overweight, right, you're going to be into the pleasure phase. There's no more motivation. There's no connection to anything that you actually really care about. There's no reason to keep going. You started because you were in pain, and now you're not in pain anymore. There's no motivation anymore. So hence the peaks and troughs and peaks and troughs and peaks and troughs. Okay. So your mind needs to be in the game. However, as I said, it's not just that mind. In order to then maintain it through, so with the mindset, you're going to connect to, you know, what you care about, and that's going to keep you motivated. But you also need the body and soul to be keen on it as well. So that's about tuning into your emotional blocks, any reasons that you might have that are against losing weight or getting healthier, and healing those and making sure that your whole heart and soul is really up for this goal. And then the body. You need to also make sure that the body is on board, and the body therefore needs to be taken care of. And many, many different diets don't cover the full gamut, right? You need your hydration right. You need your nutrition right for you. And you need your exercise right for you. So, for instance, let me give you some examples. Hydration is the easiest one, right? When often I'm drinking enough water, okay, but not enough for what my body would ideally like. Okay, so you might have seen, I've talked about these before. I used to have a really, really big one, but this is only half a litre. The problem was the really big one was really heavy for me. So hydration is key. If you don't get your hydration right, your body thinks that you're in a desert. And if you're in a desert, it's kind of holding on to everything, right? So that's not conducive to being healthy and fitter and slimmer. The body is not feeling like it's healthy and fit and slim. The next thing is the nutrition. And this is really important that it's suitable for you. So for instance, I remember years ago, I at the Slimming World, and on one of them was a meat-based one and one was a vegetarian-based one. And I think it was on the meat-based one I lost weight. Well, that's because I hated it and I didn't eat enough. And on the vegetarian one, I didn't. I just ate loads too much carbs, right? So neither of those was suitable for me at all. That made me kind of go from from a desert island where there was no food and I was starving to, oh, let's eat carbs. And that was years ago. I have lots and lots of friends who love a paleo diet, especially people who've got fibromyalgia and things like I've got. That wouldn't be suitable for me. It's much too acidic for my body. My body doesn't like that sort of diet. I've also got all sorts of different symptoms, which mean my hormones are all up the spout. So for me, the glycemic index diet is the best. I'm managing my sugars and I'm managing my hormones. However, I am not sugar-free because my body needs quite a lot of fuel to fight Lyme disease. So yes, I might not be eating sweets and all that sort of stuff. However, my diet isn't carb-free. I'm not going to go totally all that kind of sugars-free. I'm not going to go fruit-free. A lot of people love fruit-free. It just depends on who you are. So can you see how you need to get the nutrition right? And I will give you the basics on the how much, the whens, the wheres, and all the rest of it. I'll give you loads and loads of ideas on that, and also different tips, what suits you. Okay? And then the exercise. So exercise, so many people ignore the basics, so many people ignore the fact that actually when you're 90, it's not going to be about how many reps you can do. It's going to be about actually, do you have good enough core strength to be able to still stand up? Do you have good enough balance to be able to take a step? You know, are you flexible enough to still be able to do your shoelaces? That's what actually matters at those ages. That's why the people who cycle and dance and walk loads are much more likely to be still moving and so on when they're 101. Yeah. So, oh God, and I remember I've done all sorts of different exercise phases. Bearing in mind, one advantage for me is that, you know, I'm closing on 50. I'll be 50 in a very short period of time, and I've had plenty of challenges. I was never particularly sporty or whatever. So, but I remember the time when I had a friend who was a personal trainer, and I was doing like a ton of exercise classes. I was doing hers, and I frankly looked larger and fatter than I did when I stopped and put on weight. It was crazy because it was the wrong type of exercise for my body type, right? So it's really important to take into account your body type and your age, right? Things are very different at nearly 50 than they were at nearly 40 and they were at nearly 30. And then of course, you know, I have to take into account my illness, although I'm doing so much better and I expect to be symptom-free within the next year. However, I used to lose weight by running because I was a rubbish runner. Half an hour is running a couple of times a week, and whoa, the weight would just fall off of me. I can't do that now because my body can't do anything extreme. Other people would have to do it. So do you see what I mean? So in order to lose weight, you have to get your body, mind, and spirit really up for it. And you have to have your hydration, your nutrition, and your exercise all right, all at the same time. And that's why it can be tricky. That's why people get so disheartened. They've got everything going, but they're not drinking enough water. The body thinks that they're on a desert island and goes, do you know what? I'm holding on to anything. I'm not losing weight, right? They get their diet sorted, but they're not doing any exercise. So there's no circulation going. There's no extra kind of woomph, and the body needs that as well. Or they're exercising like crazy, but they're not eating the right food. They're either eating too much because they're exercising like crazy, or they're not eating enough, and then the body thinks it's starving. And then they do all of that, and they're all up and down, and they're not getting the results, and their mind, heart, body, and mind are not in the game, and so they just give up, understandably. Yeah, and then also sometimes you have to reassess. Okay, so I've talked before about my story of having gone from a size 18 down to a size 10. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. I wasn't even a size 10. I was a small size 8 to 10. And I couldn't understand when I had my son why I wasn't able to get back down to size 8 to 10 again. But as a mum, my priorities had changed, my values had changed, my personality had changed, loads and loads had changed. I actually didn't care about it anymore. So I can get you to a size 8 to 10, 100%, no problem. Can't get me to size 8 to 10 because I don't care. Perfectly happy being a size 10 to 12. It's the hips. So I think, right. So that was one change. Then, of course, I'd never experienced the whole working from home, being a mum scenario, and that required me to reassess my priorities. So that was another time that I'd put on weight. And then I wrote this book over 10, 11 years ago now, and I'd been holding on, and I wasn't sure what I was holding on for. And the reason I was holding on was because when I got sick with the fibromyalgia and then the Lyme disease, I really wanted to be able to produce a book that could answer that. That could also answer, what do you do to lose weight when you are stressed out of your box, or your hormones are up the spout, or you've got a chronic illness, or you've got some form of disease that makes it difficult for you to exercise, or your work means you literally can't do anything. And so that all of those things I'm going to address in the course as well. So now I'm clear on how that works. I know that I have a complete solution. I'm just a bit of an perfectionist, like to tick all the boxes. So there you go. It's ever so simple, really, isn't it? The reason why it's so difficult for people to lose weight is because they need to get their body, mind, and spirit in the game. They need the nutrition right, the exercise right, and the hydration all right, all at the same time. And that's it. That's all it is. So there's no questions. So I hope that all made sense. If you've got any questions, you can either come into my free Facebook group, Create Your Dream Life with Mummy Whisperer. Ask me in there, ask away. I'm really happy to help. Or for any of those people who are joining in with my Be Healthy, Fit and Slim 6-month online group coaching package, then you can always ask in there, especially if you want to ask something really, really personal. Doors are opening on Monday. I've already got people joining now, though. Don't forget that until Monday, I'm offering it at only £25 a month. The programme itself is going to be £97 a month. And then what happens if you feel at the end of it that you want the continual, because there's lots of accountability in there's lots of keeping you on track, lots of support. If at the end of the 6 months you get a book with all of the information so that you can go off and you can look after yourself from then on. But anybody who wants to stay, I'm going to make a real no-brainer, affordable price for people to stay in the group, because you might have a longer term goal and so on. And of course, this time round, I'm running the course for myself as well. So I've got a small weight loss target just to be a little bit more comfortable. But my main priority is my stamina and my health, because you'll see that due to my Lyme disease, I've got nails on one hand, but not on the other. They're just not growing. So I'm lacking in probably rest, oil, rest, and general taking care of myself as a priority. I've been taking care of myself enough to get better. Now I want to heal completely. So thank you ever so much for coming or for watching this on the replay. Take care of yourselves, and remember that you deserve to look after yourself, to feel great about yourself, and to have your dream life. Take care. Bye-bye.